T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Week 12 Rapid Reaction, Week 12 halftime. Happy Tyler Lockett game so far, maybe, possibly. We got some big passes. Hopefully that continues. As you can see, right, it's kind of a solo dolo show for me. Brian has some prior engagements, unfortunately. Also feeling a little better, a little sick, but feeling a little better. So he couldn't make it this week, but he'll be back soon. So your boy is going to carry it this whole time, hopefully, in that 15 minutes. So that said, let's get going. First off, actually going to be kind of a heavy rookie show, to be honest, now that I'm, really thinking about it. So leading off is Jalen Waddle. And really the Miami Dolphins offense as a whole. So Waddle has been really, really great recently. 6 targets in each game Tua has played in the majority of the snaps this season. So that connection with Tua is really, really strong. He's averaging nearly 20 points per game with Tua, and it's not the largest sample size, but there's something there. And as long as Tua is healthy and Waddle's healthy throughout the rest of this year, right, that's someone that is definitely going to pay off huge, or looks like they're going to pay off huge, right, in this last, few weeks of the season into the playoffs, into that championship run. So, Tua is playing much better. He, frankly, has been playing pretty well all year. He obviously has his detractors, and there's still the Deshaun Watson push, and I get it. He's very good. Obviously, slightly problematic at this point in time because we don't really know exactly what's going on. But frankly, with what we've seen, Tua probably should be getting a little bit more belief and support in his system with the way that he's playing, and with the way that Waddle is then playing with him too. Right, this could be a great dynasty buy for Waddle. You're going to have to pay up, but right, could be worth it with Tua or even with Watson. But even in redraft, right, that's going to be huge as well. So next, Adam Thielen. So as we all know, Adam Thielen, was obviously going to regress. I mean, he had 14 touchdowns last year. No one could keep that up, except, now he's actually on pace to have 15 and a half, which, that half is going to be in there, but he's on pace to beat it. So, what the hell is going on with this regression? He actually is in a weird way. So JJ Zacharyson actually pointed this out. He is regressing slightly with his touchdowns per target, but he's getting slightly more volume, and his role in that offense is key. And it's something that Linda Lyons pointed out. Shout out, what's up, Linda? You're awesome. Love your kicker work. But and Brian talks about the same thing too. It's right. Regression it's not just a one-dimensional thing. It's, yes, people are going to go to the mean, positive or negative, but right, you have to also think about, like, what is the player's role in the offense? What is their connection to that quarterback? Then you have something like Kirk, who obviously people love to hate, but now he's also playing very good this year. So, it's not a one-off thing. And more than anything, like, no one's going to be like going to add Thielen off the waiver wire or like really trading for him right now. Dynasty maybe, but realistically, like, use this as a really good example of, like, just because someone has an awesome year, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're just going to suck the next year because, like, oh, they had one good one, so then it's going to go down, right? So more of a learning lesson and a good reminder for all of us that, like, if a player's really good and really good in an offense and really good with a quarterback, don't just say, oh, that's going to end, because that's going to end. Next up, well, this one does kind of, Brian left a nice note here. He's a big fan. He said, go BYU. So, big fan there. So for Zach Wilson, yikes. First game back, I get it. He's a rookie. It's such a terrible, terrible matchup this week. But, 14 for 24, 145 yards and interception. Against a bad pass defense. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, right now, he is the worst quarterback on the New York Jets. He's not playing well. He's not seeing the field. He's not running the offense well. It is what it is. And he's a rookie. I'm not saying he's the worst thing to ever happen to football, but he's not playing right now. And the hard part is like, part of his allure was like, oh, he's mobile and he can run. He's 3 rushing yards on 2 attempts. So he can't even run well either. So at least you have someone like, Justin Fields, who has moments of like poor passing, but can scramble and run and make plays with his legs. We haven't really seen Trey Lance, but a little that we've seen, he's been able to make some play with his legs. Hell, Mac Jones ran for a couple, had a small run, yesterday. Just everything right now, Zach Wilson, the game is just very fast from what it looks like. It's tough. So, the fantasy piece of this and the spin of this is, even though Elijah Moore ended up having 8 targets yesterday, which is a great sign because we weren't exactly sure how that was going to work with Wilson. With Wilson being back, it's really going to just cap and limit the rest of the skill players within that offense. As much as Elijah Moore, I love him. I have him on a few teams. Like, he's been crushing it recently in fantasy. There's just with Wilson back, it's so hard to trust because you haven't seen anything that allows you to believe in it. So they all take a step down, which is unfortunate. Just kind of have to hope that he figures it out at least a little bit. So someone like Moore, maybe if you're in a very, very deep league, a Crowder has some value, but realistically outside of Moore, I wouldn't touch anyone there. Next up, Dalvin Cook. So Dalvin went down right before this or a little while ago, maybe an hour ago at this point. It was reported out he's going to be at least out for 2 games. So he doesn't land on IR, which is very good news that, at least we know it's not a season ender or it's nothing even more serious than that. So in regards to Alexander Mattison, he gets Detroit and Pittsburgh. Not like the 2 hardest matchups that we just saw Mixon, right, go insane. Detroit is Detroit. So personally, I still think you kind of have to go ham on the fab. If you have it and you're making that run, I think you just got to spend it. Best case scenario or best case scenario for Dalvin Cook is that he comes back in 3 weeks against Chicago. But it's not a guarantee, right? So you're locking in weeks 13, 14, which is the start of the playoffs for a lot of people or that playoff push with Alexander Mattison. And right, there's no guarantee that Cook comes in again in 3 weeks against Chicago and then completely takes back over and relegates Madison. So we don't see it. It's not, could happen. It could not. You don't really know with shoulder injuries, especially as a running back. He can come back against Chicago and get banged up on the first run, and then Madison takes back over. So Madison is someone that clearly has league-winning upside based on where he was and what he could be now. I still think you kind of have to go hard with your fab or, if you're priority waiver wire, whatever it is, you have to go for it. Next, another running back, CMC, down again. Shockingly, just allowing your running back to touch the ball like 600 times a year for 98% of the running back touches. Where's somebody down? Who knew? So between Chuba and Amir Abdullah. So Chuba is going to be that second down running back. Really the guy to target in your standard leagues, your half PPRs. But he doesn't get a lot of the passing game work. Whereas Amir Abdullah that we've seen over the past few weeks and even yesterday, he is the pass catching back. He is the third down guy. So he's really the guy, in my opinion, that, between the two in your PPR leagues, I'd really be looking at adding Abdullah. I think he's also going to be cheaper just because he's been around longer. And frankly, fantasy players are pretty fickle. And like when you get burned by a guy just like doesn't do anything for a long time, you tend to forget about him. And Chuba's the new rookie, so he has a little bit more of name value, frankly, at this point. So I think he's actually going to be the cheaper addition. And looking at their upcoming schedule, Atlanta, Buffalo, Tampa, New Orleans, not exactly the best not exactly the best matchups for running backs, right? Some hard defenses in there. So getting the pass catching back with Cam, who isn't the best passer, which we'll get to, I think is a really good way to go. Only note is just don't go like you have to add somebody, but like also keep in mind they're going to be on bye week. So don't like go crazy dumb with the money and then realize, oh, I have to wait another week for him to start. So just keep in mind, like, when you're making your waiver additions. Next up, Pat Freiermuth. So Brian and I actually spoke about him on November 1st. So a month ago. At the beginning of the month, we talked about, hey, you really should go and add him. He's getting a lot of work as a rookie tight end, and it's looking like it's going to continue. Well, guess what? It did. We absolutely nailed this one. So little pat on the back. We definitely don't get everything right, but we absolutely nailed this one. We've actually got a pretty amount of good stuff right this year. But so since his week 7 bye, he's the tight end 2 behind Kelsey, tight end 5 in points per game. So 13.2 points per game in your PPR leagues. Kyle Pitts, where's that rookie hype now? But yeah, Freiermuth is absolutely crushing it. So yesterday, right, the Steelers sucked. They got blown out, but he went 440 and won. Right? There's your 12 points. Boom. We're at 14 points. Right? He's only rostered. This is the dumbest thing. It's so dumb. 66% on Sleepers, 66% on ESPN, 63% on Yahoo. There's no reason why those numbers should be that low. It's inexcusable. So hopefully, right, if you're watching this, you're a smart fantasy player, so you already have him. But if for any reason he's available in your league, you have to go at him. There's no reason why he's not rostered in nearly 40% of leagues. And he should be started. There's probably only 5 guys you really are hammering starting over him week to week. He's on that type of heater. He's on that type of run, and Ebron's down. And we see him in that offense. He's continuously getting work. So there's no reason why his ownership or his rostership is so low, and then starting is even lower. So if he's available, he's a must add. Next up for our big guys here, Cam Newton. Kind of alluded to it. We pat on the back, Pat Freiermuth. We may have been a little bit premature on the whole he's back this week. So he is back, but he's back to the bench. So he did start hot. He had the rushing touchdown, right? The DJ Moore touchdown. Really, really good. And then not so good. He does have a bye week to hopefully get right. I think we do need to we should realize, right, that he's still brand new to this team and the offense. So he's still learning. Hopefully this bye week allows him to kind of learn a little bit better and prepare himself more for the last half of the year. In one quarterback redraft leagues, no, you don't need to roster him at this point. Just throw him back to the waivers, especially on a bye week. There's no reason to have him. In your super flex, your 2 QBs, obviously you're not in your dynasties, right? You're obviously not getting rid of him. He does have the Falcons after the bye. So if you're a team that is a good team, but your quarterback situation is really, really rough, you might want to run it back out there. At the end of the day, his red zone usage, like his goal line usage, is awesome. He doesn't have the worst weapons in the world, not the best, but he can make do with it. So you could fire him back up. I wouldn't love doing it, but personally, I have a team that it's Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield, Zach Wilson, Jimmy. My quarterbacks have been decimated. I'm probably gonna have to start him again. I'm not gonna love it, but it's the Falcons, so you kind of have to hope for the best. So to wrap it up before this whole thing gets going back again, Taysom Hill taking quarterback 1 reps in New Orleans. Could be that guy, especially in that late run. For some reason, Pollard, it's very interesting. So he's only rostered on 61% of ESPN leagues, but in the low 80s on Yahoo and Sleeper. Shout out smart sleeper people. Right, there was that report that Zeke could be lessened in his workload a little bit over the next few weeks to help him out and keep him fresh for their eventual playoff push. So for any reason, Pollard's there for you, or maybe an easy trade target. He's going to see a lot of work, and he's a younger guy, so for Dynasty, also a great get. that leaves us with our final award of the week, the Robbie Anderson of the award a week. So unfortunately, Brian's not here for this one, but he actually came up with, I thought was the perfect person for it. So the Robbie Anderson award a week actually goes to his quarterback, Cam Newton, the guy we talked about. So started out really, really good and then went 5 for 21 with 2 INTs and got benched for PJ Walker. So not ideal. With that said, he could come back, but Robbie of the week goes to his teammate Cameron Newton. So thanks for being with us. 15 and a half minutes, not bad. Back again next week with Brian to help you continue this playoff and championship push. Have a great one, everybody. Peace.